That's right. We are live. We are live. We are live. And we're live. And the good
Yeah.
brothers are back once again because we have quite a bit to discuss on this episode. But
Yes,
most
sir.
importantly, the question on the table
What's the
is
question?
is Sami Zayn the next people's champ? We're going to talk about it today on the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. After this.
Houston, we have a problem.
What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
Woo! That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The brothers have returned for another episode of the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast.
Yep.
How are you good brothers feeling on this here evening?
Oh, I'm chilling.
Man, you already know what it is. It's the road
Good.
to WrestleMania, so I'm
Hey,
This is a very crucial time for us. A lot of things happen, and I don't know how recent it is or has been to the point where we kind of have this pay-per-view in between WrestleMania, right? Usually, I guess for the longest time, it was kind of like you get Rumble, and then after Royal Rumble, we just naturally expect WrestleMania. But there's a few stops in between, and this year is no different. And we have a few things to dissect. So today will be kind of an Elimination Chamber preview show, but I want to do something just a little bit different, as the Realm always does, man. I want to tackle a subject that seems to be pulling on the heartstrings of the wrestling universe, which is Sami Zayn. Does he have what it takes? Is he on his way to being the next people's champion? I'm talking about a champion of the people. We have a number of different examples of some of our favorite champions of the people, our favorite people's champions of the past. We're going to compare and contrast where they were during those times to where Sami Zayn is, and if he can finally capture the big one after that exchange he had with Cody Rhodes. But first, I just want to give you a quick wait for it. I got to do this on my phone now because my iPad is acting stupid. Hold on, let me zoom in. Here it goes. Now it's okay. You're listening to it. Welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. When? Now. You can watch our flagship show, The Wrestling Wrealm, and other shows anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm with myself, the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, Brother Hugh, and soon to be the brother Brandon Guy. He has a new show coming soon. Explore many topics and try to educate and give fans their perspective on many different things in the world of professional wrestling. I'm your host, yours truly, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He's your host. Brother Hugh has the third H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D, and last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend, the heart and soul of the wrestling realm, Brian H. Waters. You can follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Wrestling Wrealm, 2 W's. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. You can also stream and download all of our audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can watch and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. All right. Now, this is the part where we start trying to advertise. If you want to support the Wrestling Wrealm, head over to WrestlingWrealm.com where you can shop the Wrestling Wrealm now. Get it? Because that's the name of the podcast. You can pick up your Proud Wrestling Fan t-shirt. You can pick up our basic merchandise. You can pick up our new our fall winter 22 drop, which it'll probably stay up there through the spring and the summertime. But we fashion ourselves to be guys of much merchandise. So you can head over to the WrestlingWrealm.com for that merchandise, mugs, anything that we have over there. It's down right now, but it'll be up soon again. But still, the WrestlingWrealm.com is a real thing. Head over there. Also, subscribe to our Patreon channel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got more and more content coming, and as you try to constantly pump new things on the way to kind of just expand and give people a deeper look into what we do, and as the realm and our many other exploits in the world of professional wrestling and what we do here. So head over to patreon.com/wrestling_realm. You can see shows such as we can read things such as Brian Nature's Thoughts. Brian Nature does an excellent job. He's writing again, he's talking again, he's doing so many different things. He's also gotten some behind the scenes footage and some new content coming to the Patreon channel as well. Some information, some things that you don't want to miss out on. So patreon.com/wrestling_realm. Realness Reacts. My new show will be showing up soon. I'm purposely waiting for the right time, but trust me, we're going to. If you don't know what Realness Reacts is, it's pretty much my show, and I'm going to be unhinged. I'm going to tackle the difficult questions, like this one in particular. Can Mercedes Moné live up to the hype? Do people really want Mercedes Moné, or do they want Sasha Banks? You had to head over to Patreon
this weekend.
You see, that's this. We got another big match coming up with her, so trust me, this will be right where it needs to be. So you can head over to patreon.com/wrestling_realm. If you want to read some things, guess what? It's Wrestling Figure Wednesdays, right? I'm writing as well, so I just pretty much take the time. I'm a wrestling figure community guy, so at the end of the day, there's a lot of different things in professional wrestling figures that make a difference to me. But this, instead of telling you about it, I'm actually going to write about it. So if you want to head over there and read that content as well, you're going to relate to me in a way that you've never related to me before. Head over to patreon.com/wrestling_realm. You see, guys, how I'm doing all this advertising? I'm trying to get it done early. I'm not sure anybody's watching right now, but it's okay though, because it's going to be there once they come back and look at it. You like I did that? Also,
I see.
That's
also
called on demand.
See that? There you go. If you're looking to purchase tickets for sports, concerts, and more, use the promo code Wrestling Wrealm on SeatGeek to get $20 off your purchase of $50 or more. That's promo code Wrestling Wrealm. That's WRESTLING WREALM. That's Wrestling Wrealm. Promo code Wrestling Wrealm. $20 off your purchase. Using promo code Wrestling Wrealm on tickets, $50 or more. I mean, this is almost live event season, so there's a lot going on. I know the Super Bowl just passed, but this is the time of year.
All-Star game this weekend.
All-Star game this weekend.
Lake City, you want to save some money?
If you want to save $20 on your ticket, trust me, I can almost guarantee this.
There you go. That's right.
Well, he can almost guarantee you that the All-Star game gonna cost more than $20. I mean, more than $50.
That's for sure. That's for sure. You also got the tournaments coming up.
Yeah, just sitting there,
chilling.
Just chilling.
Head to the side.
We gotta get that one. That is a photo finish right there. See, this is why y'all gotta watch us live. Shout out to those, all the people that listen to the podcast, because the podcast numbers are up. But man, look, the shenanigery that goes on. I know sometimes y'all can't stay the whole time, so you can catch it on demand afterwards. But just the way now. But yeah, that's that's what we got so far. But brother Hugh, let's do something, because I put these in here for a reason, and we're gonna use them. What did you watch this week?
Oh, what did I watch this week?
Oh,
that's a good question.
Seem to have some technical difficulties there.
You on two screens.
I don't know why though.
I'm gonna remove the other one, but this just looks cool right now.
Go ahead. It's like we got a special guest. If I could find a way, I'm trying to figure out where this other screen is coming from. Am I still logged in?
You probably got another browser open, or the other browser is frozen. Look, maybe you do the other way. How you got that pose one way. If you do the
right.
If I can find a way to mirror myself, I think I'm gonna log in from two accounts one day. You're gonna see this version of me and that version of me. But it's okay.
Well, that's how the churches are doing multicam with one browser.
I didn't realize that, but okay.
Yeah, they I mean, with one computer, they go into two different browsers. It's just I would try that, but then that's a different story. But
we're getting creative out here in the church. Let me just
that's how you do multicam producing with one computer. I looked on YouTube and I saw that, and I was like, wait, using StreamYard to stream to get multiple angles with one computer? How you do it? Then I saw it's use different. I was like, duh. You just hook up different. You obviously gotta have two capture cards, but yeah.
Well, okay. Listen, that's what I call the manipulation of technology. But I think I got the logistics. But just in case you didn't hear me,
oh yeah, we got through it.
Promo code Wrestling Wrealm. $20 off your purchases using promo code Wrestling Wrealm. $50 or more. So there you have it.
You can never go wrong with that. We even ran the graphic for what did you watch this week?
Oh, there you go. We have one of those.
bro.
Come on, bro.
Why have we not been playing that? Like, what the
we,
heck?
we used it before. It's been a while. It's all good. Let's
Okay.
get Drew Willingham in the building. He understands the shenanigans
we got.
technology.
Yeah, you ain't lying. But
shout out to Drew. He's gonna be on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings this Friday. Make sure.
That's gonna be excellent.
Hey, oh my gosh!
Shout out to those wrestling girls tuning in from Twitch. Make sure y'all tune in to Twitch also. We're trying to get what they call not verified, monetized. All we just need is average of 3 viewers. We got the followers.
Okay.
We need 3 people watching at once. The average. Everything, these loopholes, these thresholds. I'm getting sick of it.
Well, you know how that is.
I'm about to say.
Trying to keep brothers down from getting that paper.
Bro, you imagine, and look, technology. Oh, you imagine like we'd have monetized the Wrestling Wrealm back when everybody could have monetized. We just wasn't there like mentally because we was doing so much. You know?
Say, I don't know, man. Look, there it is. Hold on. I don't know what that is. But if it goes out again, I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna switch out my camera, so it's okay. But I don't know what that's about, man. It's just I'm trying to think what was going on during that time where I was like
in 2011, 2012, everything.
It was a lot going on,
and that's probably
it was amazing that we one day we'll sit down and tell the full story, of course. But it was amazing that we was able to do the show, and that's what I always commend you on. Like, man, I remember we would sometimes film on a Saturday, like randomly, like 8 o'clock in the evening. Or like, yo, you busy? Nah, I'll be getting ready to go to Best Buy to work.
I remember that.
Come over your house at like 11 p.m. a.m. and record to like 1 because I had to be to work at 2. We made it work.
Nah, we definitely did. Remember, and then we did when we did the freaking
project.
When we did the documentary, the Talking Heads, we pulled all nighter on that one. I remember that.
Yeah, freaking Raul Banez hit 2 home runs off Jim Johnson in the playoff game.
So he had to relate to baseball.
Because I remember that vividly watching it at your house, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna win this game. We're gonna be up 2-1." Nope.
I remember that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and we sat on the refrigerator.
We definitely did. We had my brother's college refrigerator as our seat, man. And you couldn't tell nothing. We made it happen, man. We were very resilient, man. That's one thing about this group, man. We are very, very resilient.
Bro, I was on shout out to Nate from Storyline Tees. That episode is out now, by the way. So y'all check that out after y'all finish listening to this. But one of the stories I told him about, because the whole point of his podcast, everybody has a story. So
sure,
so like I said, he's gonna be hitting y'all up too. But one of the things we talked about was I told him how Professor Dotson always embellished our humble beginnings.
Right.
Because he would always say, "Oh yeah, the guy's got a Morgan View." Like, no, we wasn't in Morgan View. I said neither one of us was like stayed on campus.
We definitely didn't.
He loved telling that story when he talked about the Wrestling Wrealm because nobody else was doing it. And I know people always use that term, but this is facts. Everybody would say what they wanted to do. But in that class, nobody else had a plan. And when it came to my turn, I gave him my business card. Said, "Hey, this is my name. This is, my brother. He also go here. This is what we do." He's like, "I'm impressed."
His one business card.
No, that was with the Wrestle Talk and with
that was Bear and B.
That was Wrestle Talk with
Bear and B Dub.
X and B Dub.
Bear and B Dub.
Story
coming exclusively to patreon.com/wrestling_realm.
That I might know. I don't know if I can tell that full story.
I think you can. I think
can tell some part.
We can do an edited version like A&E does with WWE. make it seem edgy, but then
we was doing this, and then he started beep, and then beep beep, and then beep.
Oh no, yeah, never mind. I forgot. That's frowned upon. Never mind. See, I forgot about those details. But it's okay. Yeah, I see now. But
come on now, if I cancel a person whose blood actually runs through my veins, it's a reason.
Oh yeah. It was a reason. But guess what though? There's also a reason for this week's Black History Month spotlight.
Yes, sir.
Brothers, are you ready?
Yeah.
This week, the Wrestling Wrealm celebrates the beautiful, the illustrious Jacquline Moore, known as Jackie Moore to so many people. She's an American professional wrestler and wrestling manager who was best known for her time in the WWE, formerly known as the World Wrestling Federation, until about the year 2000. From 1998 to 2004, she became the first African-American WWE Cruiserweight champion, as well as being one of 3 women to hold the championship, as well as working for World Championship Wrestling in 1997 through 1998, and then later on, she made stops in independence as well as Total Nonstop Action Wrestling as a wrestler, manager, and road agent. One of the greatest women's champions of all time. We definitely take the time to salute Miss Jacquline Moore for this week's Black History Month Spotlight presented by the Wrestling Wrealm. So
that belt is fire.
No, it is. I think we should hit the applause button. Let me see if I can. Is it there?
I got it.
Go ahead.
You know,
Jackie Moore, everybody. Jackie. Go ahead, brother.
Jackie.
I believe she follows the Wrestling Wrealm. I'm not. I think so, but she was the first woman I seen body slam a man, because I saw her do that in WCW earlier before I seen her in China.
No, that's dope, man. I hope we clip this off and we should tag her in it. So definitely,
we'll do.
I mean, right at the time code.
Absolutely. So, like I said, this week's Black History Month spotlight goes to Miss Jacqueline Moore. I mean, I remember when she first quickly I'll talk about my memories of Jackie. I remember she was the greatest villain to Sable, who was hot at the time, and I think Sable was in a place in her career where I think she kind of unexpectedly took off. And in the World Wrestling Federation at the time, when there really was no like standard women's division. You had women talent, you had valets, you had managers, and you had some women who could wrestle. So you had like Luna Vachon, God rest her soul, and of course you had Sable that kind of took off, and she was beefing Mark Merrill. But then when Jackie came to the mix, good gosh, she was gorgeous. It was
Yep.
You know, to me, Sable and Jackie kind of go hand in hand. And then of course what she went on to go do as far as being a women's champion, just being an overall women's advocate for women's wrestling. I mean, they said she's one of the toughest women on the face of the planet. I mean, she's a pioneer at the end of the day. Like, you know, when women were doing things that weren't considered popular, like just the women of yesteryear that kind of made that mark of professional wrestling. Like I said, a former women's champion, and then what she did with PMS, and so entertaining, and what she went on to do even after she left the WWE. So we definitely salute her. So with that being said, good brother. I'm sorry. Did anybody else want to say anything about Miss Jacqueline Moore?
No, just you know, just the fact that, like you said, I didn't appreciate her as much, to be honest with you, because it was all about like Sable. I was rooting for who they told me to, and I was booing who they told me to. So it's like the same thing with her and Jazz. But you know, shout out to them, what they mean to this community. And you know, we talking about Jacqueline. I was so happy to see her be able to get her just due by going into the Hall of Fame.
Well deserved. So like I said, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, our Black History Month spotlight for this week, Jackie Moore. All right, brothers, I think it's that time.
We got an announcement to make.
Oh, wait a minute. There's announcements? Okay, hold on. Go ahead. We got an announcement.
Yeah, tomorrow. We're on this.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Break it down.
Yeah, tomorrow. Actually, it's gonna be a busy. Get your Thursday fixed with the Wrestling Wrealm. 7:00. I'm gonna go live with Prince Machiavelli. I was live with Chaz Evans last Monday, so it's just easy to do these shows live sometimes, to be honest with you. But then you'll catch me, the real Dwayne Allen, and Brother Hugh and Brother Brandon. We're gonna pull up to Stephanie Hardy's The Hardy Wrestling Podcast. So I'm excited. This will be the first time we'll be there. Stephanie Hardy has been on Wrestling for the Culture. We had the honor and pleasure of meeting her at Black Wrestle Fest. She comes all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. She is one of my favorite people in this industry. If you ever listen to her show, it's like you put it on, you just let it ride, right? Smooth listen. It's hard to do a podcast by yourself. I don't care what anybody say. Trust me, I did 260 plus episodes of Break It Down with Brian H. I ain't gonna stop no time soon, but it's not easy. Stephanie does this on a weekly basis, and she gives you a breakdown, and her perspective is always interesting. It's never about complaining or bashing a product. Of course, we all have stuff we don't like, but she always has like an open mind. So I'm really excited. She's been spotlighting a lot of the Black Wrestling podcast community, and you know, she put it on her social media post at Hardy Wrestling Pod. She's looking forward to talking to the kings of the Wrestling Wrealm.
Man, I'm mad we don't have a freaking graphic for her show tomorrow. I wasn't even paying attention. That's on me, man. But Stephanie,
it's been a busy week.
Now, Stephanie's such a sweetheart, man. I had the pleasure and honor of meeting her, like you said, Brian H. at at Black Wrestling Fest, and she was always so gracious, always so knowledgeable, and I think we've always spoke about representation amongst our women and our people, and I mean, just so genuine, so good at what she does, man. So I'm definitely excited. I didn't find out until later, but I remember we were at Black Wrestling Fest. We were kind of wrapping up, and she was like, "I saw you walking around," and apparently I have like this determined looking walk. So when I walk, it looks like, oh, he looks like he's actually like trying to be so important. And she was trying to interview people on the way out the door. And she was like, I meant to interview you and I didn't get a chance. I was like, oh, shoot, I wish you'd have said something. I would stop. I wasn't doing anything important. I just walked that way.
Exactly. I was about to say he wasn't doing a daggone thing.
I wasn't doing anything, bro. I think we were just packing the car up. But I do know people say, like, yeah, you walking all determined. I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's just me. But I'm so excited to be a part of Stephanie Hardy and her podcast. She does, like I said, she does an excellent job. And such a sweet person, such a, I always make sure that I want to take the time to give people like their flowers while they can still smell them. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful and gracious to all the other content creators that have us on their show, just to be a part of their show for whatever reason it may be, And she's no different. Like I said, I got to catch up with a couple of people. Like I've been trying to get on Lynn's podcast for a long time. Like we've been trying to, me and Lyndon been trying to like catch each other. We just keep passing in the wind.
Yeah.
Like every reason, like you free
on there Monday. Talk to him Sunday. No, Monday.
Every time I try to get scheduled to go on Lynn's podcast, like something funky happens. But like I said,
we gotta get him because ain't no more honorary Oos, but he's still honorary Realm.
No, absolutely, man. Like he like guys like him, like Lynn and Drew and and even Stephanie and I know we had those wrestling girls, but this is one of the areas that I want to continue to grow in. Start just kind of once the wrestling season kind of settles down.
Ciendo definitely called me out earlier.
Really? I'm intrigued about.
Said I'm still waiting to come on the Wrestling Wrealm.
Oh yeah. Listen, sweetheart, you just as good as booked. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Well, no, we'll definitely figure it out because I know it's a line. Like it's a bunch of people we like. Yo, we got to start bringing them. And I don't think we had. It's been a while since we did like a guest.
You know why? Because we want to do it right, and so sometimes with so much going on, it's like we don't want to just half-ass it. We want to make sure we put the time in. Promotion, and it's not us making excuses. It's like we're gonna make sure we do it right, but it's coming. Trust and believe.
No, definitely gonna look out.
And this Mania season, this road to WrestleMania. Let's
feel free to hit us up, man.
Brother, you gas up the pacer.
All right, well, listen. That's
I mean, you act like Cole all the time, so yeah, gas up.
Wow, he gave me Cole though. Out of all people,
he real funny. It's only because you told, so you have to be Tommy.
Why do I have to be Tommy? That's sizism.
Well, so the funny part was,
they got I don't wear glasses anymore. See, I got these shades on because I have eye issues right now. But like, if I had the frames, man.
The funny part in middle school, Hugh was actually a combination between Cole and Martin.
He's still trying to make you Cole, though, brother.
Because he was the funniest. Even though, like, Alan could do the laugh, but Hugh was funnier.
Okay. All right.
That's true.
And they got me call me Tommy, but the issue was it wasn't I had no job. They would say Hugh Tommy because you ain't got no girlfriend.
Be like, I'm a grown ass man.
Start digging in the ear then. I don't know who you think you're talking to.
He said, oh man, we'll be here all night talking about Martin. That's a whole other podcast. Good
rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Tommy Ford. Does anybody do a Martin podcast?
I don't know, but
just solely a Martin podcast. Like they just pick an episode and just go in on it. I don't know. If anybody knows, hit us up. See, look, right. Wheels are turning. Because you talk about crossover appeal. People are eating that. Everybody watches Martin. Martin. Everybody watches Martin.
That's an episode. Which wrestler would you compare to Martin? All the characters.
That
because with wrestling is something you can do that with, right? Like every time, like whether like people watch Power, say, all right, which wrestler would you compare to Ghost? If you watch like Young and the Wrestlers, which wrestler would you compare to Victor Newman? Or you know what I mean?
Who else said that besides you, though? Honestly, talking about Young and the Wrestlers.
Believe it or not, there's a community. I'm telling you, I've been on Twitter. I'm not the only one, but like even like I've been getting into Succession because of the whole WWE stuff, and like it's kind of like been unofficial homework from Kaz, like to understand like all the stuff that's going behind the scenes, but you see it, so it's a lot of stuff. Like wrestling is one of those things you can always make comparisons. Like that's what I used to do growing up when I started like getting into Mortal Kombat, because that was like the first thing. That and Power is the first thing like where I'm like obsessed over the characters more than I ever did since wrestling. So I would always like figure out like, well, if this was a wrestler, who would they be? You know?
I mean, that makes sense. That's fair. I respect that at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I do respect?
What's that?
I respect the champion of the people. The people's champion. So let me give a brief definition of what that really means.
Mm-hmm.
The definition of a people's champion is a champion of the people. Is that pretty clear?
Facts.
Okay. So over the years, there's always that one guy that kind of forces his way into superstardom to be a top guy. It almost seems unintentionally, right? It's always somebody that seems like that wasn't really meant to be that popular, but then they find a way to force their way into the hearts of wrestling fans, even to the point where they crack open that space on the main event scene. Usually there's one or two guys at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But then this person always finds their way into the hearts of the fans, and that kind of forces the hand of management to kind of go with them, and they become our people's champion.
Mm-hmm.
And that, gentlemen, is the subject of tonight's show. This is the discussion that we have to have. We're a few days away from Elimination Chamber as of this recording, right? It's in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and the main event, I believe, for the show is supposed to be the tribal chief Roman Reigns versus the recently exiled.
I saw that
from the bloodline, Sami Zayn. What I miss?
Nah, I'm putting it in the chat. My bad. I just saw this. That was a toy. It's up your alley, but yeah, it's in the chat when you're ready to look at it.
Oh, I'll see it. So we got See, look, I lost my concentration. I'm not fooling with y'all. No, I saw it. I was like, ooh. Wrestling figure windows, everybody. So you got the tribal chief Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Montreal, Quebec, Canada, the hometown, home country of Sami Zayn. And I think that Sami Zayn is knocking on dangerous doors right now. And I say dangerous doors is because the people's champ is always somebody that's unexpected. Somebody we don't expect somebody that's not intentionally put in that space, but somehow they just find a way and they just become a champion of the people. And Sami Zayn has that opportunity this Saturday, as of this recording, at Elimination Chamber against Roman Reigns, right? Sami Zayn had an exchange with Cody Rhodes, and they had a conversation, and it was so heartfelt, it was so powerful. I was watching it, and I got chills. And I was like, "Man, this is wrestling. This is," and I'm getting this vibe from their exchange. Cody Rhodes has been on fire with his exchanges over the last 2 weeks. He had an exchange previously with Paul Heyman that kind of sold that feud, and then he recently had a conversation with Sami Zayn about what he needs to do. But first, we're going to compare Sami Zayn to some of our favorite people's champions of the past, right? So today, let's talk about some of the guys that were people's champions. There was a champion of the people, someone that wasn't meant to be there, but yet they found their way there. And then we're going to compare and contrast where Sami Zayn is at this time and see where does he compare, and if he has a shot to be the next people's champion. I mean, does he have a shot to beat Roman Reigns? We don't know, but guess what, brothers? We're going to discuss it as we always do. So, gentlemen, do you guys have in your mind set already somebody that you remember as a kid that was just a people's champion, at least based off the definition that we just gave maybe 5 minutes ago? I have one in my mind immediately, probably the most impactful, unintentional one. But I want to hear the rest of the brothers have to say. Shut up.
I'm curious.
He tried to get on the show. He gonna say some Stone Cold. Ain't no Stone Cold. He was not a people's champion. He was he was the champion.
Well, he was the champion for the working man. He
wasn't a people's champion. He kicked the door down like he was the champion. People's champion didn't always necessarily a top guy. He didn't know he's world champion.
Yeah.
He's a champion of the people. Like when he comes out, okay, this is our guy. But go ahead. Who wants to go first?
I mean, when you say that, the first thing that comes to mind is
I don't hear, brother. You have to say, hold on. Put me. Go ahead. I'm listening.
First thing that comes to mind is Mankind winning the title for the first time.
That's a great one. Okay, go ahead. Talk about
it. That's it. Like
talk about Mankind's impact and how did he become a people's champion?
Man, first of all, you know how many superstars they had at the time?
That's the biggest thing, brother. I think about it all the freaking time.
and Mankind does not have the look. He didn't have like he had a weird gimmick, and like you just never would have thought like, okay, all right, well, he's gonna be champion one day. Nah, you didn't.
There's no way in the world
Until people fell in love with him, just out there putting his body on the line for any and everything, like just throwing off cells and going through thumbtacks and all that craziness. People fell in love with that.
So let me ask you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep on.
Not to the point that when he ended up, he had the crowd behind him and he ended up winning the title. What you laughing for, bro?
That's brother. You see what Brother Brandon said? He's gonna say start over. I just got here.
Oh, all right.
No, but so brother Hugh, to your point, tell me this. Help me understand it and let the people know. What's the difference between what Mick Foley did and what a lot of other people did when it comes to like plenty of other people have sacrificed themselves. Plenty of other people have been in these crazy matches. But what is it about Mankind in particular that he became a man and a champion of the people during that era? And I think he had the most difficult route because of just I mean when you hit in all cylinders with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with The Rock, with Triple H and DX, The Undertaker and Kane, just everything going on. And yet you found a way to be number 3, number 4 on that list, which is a hard list to crack, especially when it was hot. Like they didn't need Mankind, you know what I mean? But yet he became, what's the difference between what he did and with a lot of other guys who had similar careers and similar styles? What was different about Mankind?
First of all, he was funny. First of all, and second of all, like he was able to pull off 3 successful gimmicks at one time.
Yep.
4 if you want to count himself.
That's true.
So it's like nobody ever seen that before.
That's very true.
And he literally dug down deep and found and like broke himself down. And he gave you a piece of himself with each character. So that was different.
Yeah.
At the time. So it's kind of like, I think the people kind of fell in love with that. And like I said, just him and his physical nature, just him being crazy, all the injuries he's been through. He lost the ear, his whole background. What they call him? Foley baby, Mrs. Foley baby's boy.
Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
The old home video of him jumping off the roof of the house. Like just all iconic things. And it's like
people relate to that part too.
They relate to it. To it. You know, hardworking man. Yeah, he was your average. My bad. He was your average guy, and people could really relate to him.
That's exactly what I was about to say, man. And I think just to hit on your point, man, which is an excellent point, by the way. I think that's kind of what during that real era, as I call it, as the Attitude Era, like people were being very, very intentional about why they liked who they liked. We always talk about Austin and what he kind of represented during that time. He was counterculture, and the society was different at that time too. Society was very edgy and very punk rockish and punk rapish, and it was just a lot going on, and that was kind of the kind of the taste of the table during that era. But he was non-conventional. But he was such a crossover talent because not only did he do what he did in the ring, like you said, but I remember him. He was one of the most popular characters in WWF at that time during that era. I'm talking about, I see his face on ties at kiosk in the mall.
Yes.
He was on Boy Meets World. He had us all pulling socks out of our pants with faces on them with Sharpies and stuff. Like Mr. Sacco was a thing. I saw him on, like when I saw him on Boy Meets World and ravioli commercials. He was a New York. He's like a 5-time New York Times bestseller. Not only did he look crazy, but he could perform. You know what I mean?
He's a comedian.
He's hilarious. Like the 1998 Royal Rumble when he came out as all 3 characters is one of my favorite Mick Foley moments of all time.
Right.
And it's just like, dude, how in the world? And it was just so funny. Not to mention him being immortalized through that moment where he had with the Undertaker and just their overall feud and where Mick Foley would kind of eventually go, man. So that's definitely he was one of those guys. And even that moment when he did win the WWF championship, and even though it was for a night as a transition, it meant everything to him. And his name is still in the history books because I want to dare somebody to argue me and tell me that Mick Foley was not just as popular as anybody in the company during that time period. Brian H.
Hold on, and it made the moment mean even more. That WCW did what they did.
And that's the crazy part because you transcended two companies. Isn't that crazy?
Mhm.
Right.
Like I don't think there's anybody else in history where that actually happened and it actually works, right? He also spiked the ratings. So like said to be spiteful in one moment kind of went down in history and is one of Mick Foley's most proudest moments. And I'm sure it helped him be looked at differently in Vince's eyes because he drew a big number. And it's like, oh, so we can draw outside of Rock and Austin and Taker. And now there's a fourth piece in the midst of all this stuff. There's Mick Foley, and he added such a crazy wrinkle to it all.
And
But-
my bad. One more thing. He was very versatile. He could
Very
work with-
versatile.
He could work with anybody.
He could work with anybody.
He could tell with the jokes with the Rock. Had the whole segment. What is it?
Rock, this is your life. Rock and Sock
You know,
Connection.
He could work with Kane, the big man who was dry at the time, couldn't speak. Whatever.
He even worked with Vince. Yeah, he works with Vince McMahon. When him and Austin, that whole hospital scene. Like everybody likes to talk about that hospital scene with Vince and Austin. But you got to remember, for almost like 20 minutes before that even happened, Mick Foley was in there with Yordle the Clown.
That's when Socko was born, right?
Yeah, that's the first time we saw Mr. Hey, yo, he said, I got a special guest for you. He pulled, bro, Socko! And then when he pulled that, like, when he started using that as the mandible, like, nobody remembers the mandible claw, but Socko, like that just took things to a different level, man. But that's almost the definition of a people's champion, like just somebody that just really just captures the hearts of the people, but also you kind of hold your own, man. You draw that money. You're worth your weight in gold. Brian H.
Yeah.
Another people's champion. Do you have one? What comes to your mind? If it's Mick Foley, that's fine too, because we could just continue to elaborate. When you think about a people's champion,
I wanted to add to that real quick.
No, go ahead.
Before I jump into mine. One of the things you talked about that night, January 1999, when it happened, they had been doing that before. They was giving ratings. Like you look at the Monday Night Wars DVD, you see that they had been giving away the show. Yeah. But when it was like, yeah, Mick Foley's going to win the title, it's like you did it one time too many. And the thing about him, like, yeah, we know transitional champion, but if that wasn't probably the most important transitional champion ever, especially because
I don't think of anybody else.
Yeah, he had to get The Rock ready for Austin. Rock was going in as champion. We know that. And I was thinking about this the other day. Rock and Mick Foley wrestled each other 4 straight big events. If you think about Survivor Series, Rock Bottom, Royal Rumble, actually, but St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So that's 4. Then you add in Sunday Halftime Heat. Then you add in the Raw where Rock would eventually take the title back and have it on the WrestleMania. But we didn't complain because the storytelling was different every time. You had that the first time was the Montreal Screwjob Part 2 remake. The second time was, the Rock's big pay-per-view. He's being crowned. He's, and it's his own show. Then the I Quit match was just brutal. The Halftime Heat, because
that was brutal. God damn.
Yeah, they had to be in an empty arena. Then they had the, match that went to a no contest at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and then the ladder match. Like they just went through, it was just, man, it was so good. But the transition, my people's champion, I would say would be the answer to him in WCW. And maybe not the answer, but like if they saw it work for this guy, maybe they could try it with this guy down the line the next year.
Okay.
And that was DDP.
There it is. That was my guy. Diamond Dallas Page.
Self high five. I hate that nobody bought the rights to that because I hate watching stuff with the generic music.
Generic stuff. It is worse. That's
yeah.
I hate it.
Because man, I remember when DDP, when I really got like heavy into like really jumping into WCW and really like retaining everything, I should say. The way I was with WWF was like really like 94, 95. And, he had the Diamond Doll and he was just like, just kind of like this bartender guy, Diamond, whatever. And I'm like, okay. But then when he became a face and I'm watching him and I'm like, you got Hogan, you got Savage, you got all the NWO people. Then you got Goldberg, you got the NWO Black and Red. But then WCW still needed their guy. You couldn't really get like Goldberg had already had the championship, right? but you needed somebody to like fans to like really get behind, and it was him. You look back at Halloween Havoc, the one his main event match. That's when I realized. Actually, before that, when they was like he won at Fall Brawl, the War Games. I'm like, oh, okay, like I could take him seriously now.
He did. Yep, I do remember that. Yeah,
And you know, so him and Goldberg wrestle, and I guess I kind of thought like, he ain't gonna win, maybe, but nah, you know. And then it was the diamond cutter.
I think I'm gonna take the diamond cutter.
Right. It was like a counter to the stunner.
Yeah.
But the diamond cutter, you know, like when you wrestle with you're fine. I'm gonna hit you with the stunner. Fine, I'm gonna hit you with the diamond cutter. You know, and it meant you was tough because you was going all the way to the ground. You know what I mean? And so, like, to watch him fight with the NWO, and then you know I was just, as a matter of fact, I just shared this clip with my god brother. Remember when he hit the variation of the diamond cutter on Big Show, the choke slam that led into the diamond cutter at Starrcade '98, which is like one of my favorite Starrcades. And so, like, then for him to finally get that moment and for him to win the match, I mean, with the heaviest of heavy hitters of WCW, Hogan, Flair, Sting, Savage as the referee, full circle moment, you know. So, like, when I think of like a people's champion, I think of him. And it also kind of showed when he got to WWF because the WWF audience didn't really know who he was, unfortunately.
They didn't recognize him.
You know, because you know, and at the time growing up, we looking at it like, oh yeah, we know that's DDP. Why is he being, you know,
that pissed me off.
Downgraded? But you listen to stuff and then you go back and watch, like, oh wait, the people really didn't know who he was. So he was literally a champion of the WCW people.
Yeah. No, it's excellent points. And crazy part is I didn't realize how old he was.
Right.
You know, and that was like when you look at his story, like he didn't win his first world title. He was 40 years old. And I think to what you said, Brian, it's just DDP, Diamond Dallas Page is one of those guys that kind of just like he kind of waited his turn. So even when the ship was kind of sinking and the tides were turning, a lot of people were kind of taking time off and they were just walking away, trying, you know, Sting had a hiatus and Hogan left and stuff like that. Guys like Diamond Dallas Page answered those doors. He turned heel. You know what I mean? He had a chance at the world title. He was the star of WCW's feature film Ready to Rumble, one of the funniest wrestling movies of all time. It's probably not as funny to me now at this age, but catch me 10, 12 years ago, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Say it,
bro. Like Diamond Dallas. First of all, Diamond Dallas Page's performance in that movie was second to none. Excellent job.
Right.
But you know, he was
it better than Macho Man in Spider-Man?
No, come on. Now, first of all, nothing's better than Macho Man in anything. You will never get me sit there hear me say that, but anything is better than Macho Man anything. Like that's just, and it may be true, but it's not. I'm not going to say it out loud. But listen to me. Two great performances though. They both did an excellent job. Although Diamond Dallas Page was kind of more featured than Macho than my man Bonsoir. Get down here now. Sorry. But yeah, man, I couldn't agree with you more. Diamond Dallas Page started training, I think, at the age of 30 or 35, somewhere around that line. Yeah. And you know, he was a guy that he kind of gives me hope. And I was like, do I still want to do this? Like, no, but he makes me wonder sometimes.
Wait a minute now.
No, I can't. Like,
hey man,
no, I can't even run. I can't run and do, like I can't even do regular exercises without hurt myself in some type of way. But
oh, come on, you got one run in you eat
nah, I'm a run over. If it was just me, maybe, but no. But yeah, man.
I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna touch the ring, right?
No, that's it. I feel like I will at some point. And I said to myself, if I start getting fat and I start putting on weight, I'm just gonna bulk it out and be like, man, I don't know. Let me just get in the ropes. But you know, it's okay. I'm okay with
especially when you like to show off. You get one walk.
I'm telling you, bro. Like I'm just waiting. I'm waiting just for a shot. Just like let me just cut the music on one time. Let me just go down there with no fans in the arena.
Did you see Sir Wilkins walk? Like they put together like a cinematic before his match with Simon Miller, and like he was on the something else part talking about like, yo, these people like was really here for me. And you see, like when he walked in, I was like, yo, I really love like that they documented this, right? And so I can just imagine, like you're doing this on the indies, right? Like I was in the ring with Jay Bougie, and he getting that pop, so I can imagine how people feel.
Imagine
That's why, like,
50,000 people, yo.
yeah, I know people hard on Ric Flair,
Yeah,
but like we don't know what that's like to walk
and it's
down.
and
You
it's
guys,
and it's not just Flair. In all fairness,
exactly.
he just don't know because Terry Funk was like was still wrestling in Japan at like 60 in his 60s, bro.
He
Him
just
and Dor-
wasn't willing to admit it.
Bro, like you know what I'm saying. So like but it's when you see guys like that, it's like you understand that rush, and you also understand on a more serious tone.
That's what Triple H always say about The Rock. He said, "I know because nothing." He even says it. Nothing
Yeah.
gives him goose. The movie set can't do this.
He wants to catch him slipping. Like, yeah, you feel that,
Come
don't
on,
you?
Rock.
Just let him get one more taste.
Rock.
But
We about a little over a month away. I'm still holding out hope until I hear from your mouth.
I still think The Rock is going to show up. I think he just might pull one of those situations like he did last time and announce it like a year later, like, hey, I'll be there in Philly. You know, but who knows? You never know. I don't know. But like I said, it's people's champion. Even though The Rock considered himself the people's champion. Can you believe he could consider himself the people's champion when he was a heel?
Right.
Like, bro, you were not the people's champion, right? Everybody hated you. But yeah, Mick Foley and Diamond Dallas Page, two excellent examples of what we mean by the people's champ, a champion of the people. There's a few more people that was like that. So our honorable mention I said is CM Punk. Right. We're not going to dive so much into his career, but I think he was one of those. I think he was, and you know, in all fairness, he was one of those guys that kind of he shattered that glass ceiling. He was somebody that people kind of clamored for when the audience that they catered to now was kind of being shunned at one point in the WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's too indie, he's too whatever. Yeah, but he kind of broke all those molds. He shattered that glass ceiling. He paved the way for a lot of those guys that we enjoy now. But you know, he was one of the people that I felt like CM Punk was, you know, no matter what he did, people thought he was supposed to be the guy. But yeah,
I got one for you.
go ahead.
Who's a question mark?
Mm-hmm.
Bret Hart. And
Well,
here's
see-
the reason why I asked.
I said you can't really call him a champion if he was the champion already.
Okay.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like Bret Hart, he was kind of groomed there. You know what I mean? Like he fought his way. He was kind of there. Like you could even almost consider like a Macho Man, like that guy. But it's like, but eventually he was a champion. Like, you know, he was,
Yeah.
you know, like they decided we're gonna hook our truck to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like a guy like maybe a Daniel Bryan, but then eventually he became kind of crossover. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like guys like Mick
Eventually,
Foley,
where they eventually had to start.
yeah,
playing
like
versus-
now we're gonna go with you in. Like, okay, it's working with like Mick Foley. They never really went with Mick Foley, but yet
Right.
his popularity was always just as high as the top guys. They like you couldn't mention WWF at one point in time without thinking about that silly mask and that silly sock. Like when I say Mick Foley was everywhere, and he was not the guy. He was not the champion.
Right.
Same thing with Diamond Dallas Page. He was all NWO, all Hogan, all Goldberg. But
You know what
when
Mick Foley
them
did,
diamonds
though?
went up, though, what
He
did Mick
may
Foley
have been
do?
at WrestleMania. Mick
I
Foley.
mean, that's what makes you the guy. When you're good enough and you force somebody's hand, not because they want to go to, it's because they have to go with you.
All right,
Because-
let me ask you this now.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let's go take these questions a step further.
Here we go.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
If he
Okay.
becomes a babyface,
Uh-huh.
will he become, or is it too late because he's already been there? Because he's been very clear, especially lately, that he's disappointed he's not in the main event of WrestleMania.
As
And
he
he
should
wants-
be. Every top guy's supposed to say that. So I'm not mad at Rollins for that. Go ahead.
That's the exact line I used earlier today.
Okay. See, I'm telling you, man, the great minds think alike. That's the superior wrestling intellect we got flowing.
Facts. But you the boots. That's
Oh man, my man had the mischief Astro Boys on his feet, though. He really wrestled on them bad boys.
that's what I heard.
I think they dropped today, as a matter of fact. What's today? The 15th? Yep.
Yeah.
Today. Yep.
Let's talk about like he wrestling $1,000 boots, which
Wow.
is incredible.
They're not $1,000. They're $350 retail. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, but anyway, so is it like because I guess I always say he's the Macho Man to Roman being Hogan
Ooh, man.
because
Tough conversation to have. Go ahead.
think about it, like as long as Roman's there, is he going to surpass him?
No, come on out. No. Here's the thing, and this is the part that's conflicting for me. Like he was there first.
He was though. That's the
part. It's like you kind of were there first, and then he kind of got derailed with an injury.
but he even said
Mhm.
he felt that whole heel turn
Yeah.
was like, okay, we're gonna do this, but it's because we're still going to go with Roman, but we want to put you here so we can eventually feed you to Roman. I don't want to use the word feed. That's the wrong word, but it was,
that was the Vince way. Like,
it was always for Roman. You know what
sure.
I mean?
I mean, that's why Christian didn't re-sign with WWE.
Triggered.
Yep, I'm pissed. But
he showed up tonight on AEW.
I was about to say,
God, I was just about to say, when is his contract up? I didn't want you to come back to TV. I wanted you to hold out.
Yep, he came back tonight.
Yeah, but to that point, it's just like it's tough because, like I said, they went with Seth Rollins first. You know what I mean? They never went with Savage over Hogan first. It was always Hogan. It was Andre Hogan. It was, and then once again, Hogan, Savage just kind of I don't even know what you call it. What he did, he just knocked those doors down. Like, he was Intercontinental Champion. He reminds me of the Jay Lethals of the world. He was like, nah, this is the most title because I'm holding it, not because of the IC title. The IC title is most important because I'm holding it. This what makes this the top title. I have it, and I'm the best wrestler here.
Was trying to do with the U.S. title.
He was, but I think Seth Rollins.
So is it more Randy to John, Roman being John?
More Randy to Roman.
The way I look at it is,
I would say
if you're booking towns, right? This is the way I did it. If you're booking towns, Roman is on my A card. He's leading the A card, and Seth is leading the B card because I still got to sell those towns, and Seth can still do it. And I say that when the wrestlers that's of today.
Sure.
Shout out to the Wrestling Wrap Up podcast. I was on there with Mari and Matt earlier on Saturday.
Busy man.
Yeah, man. It's WrestleMania season.
Making rounds, yeah.
I'm always grateful when people have me on their shows. If I'm looking at it, if the wrestlers of today, they're going to be looking at, you're going to be able to tell a lot by when they say, who's your favorite?
Sure.
Roman Reigns.
You know what era they're from.
Yeah, or if they say Seth Rollins, you know what type of wrestlers they are.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Or what type of because like and I always said, all of a sudden when Macho Man died, he was the most popular person in the room. I remember when people was making fun of Macho Man. Me and brother Brandon would talk about this, back in the early mid 2000s. But you hear when people say they're Hogan fans, they want to be the entertainment, the shabazz. When they say they're Macho Man fans, they're the workhorses.
There you go.
And that's the way I'm looking at Rollins and Reigns for the next generation.
I would say so. I mean, it makes sense, brother. Hugh, what do you think?
Hey,
about
shout out to Dylan Matthews in the building.
Do you think that what Brian H said is pretty accurate as far as what you kind of the vibe you get from fans and what their perspective on, how they look at, where a guy is, like a Roman is, where a Rollins is, where it's like, yeah, you don't want to downplay one guy, but at the same time, it just is what it is.
When you're talking about those two, yes, I mean, like, I agree with y'all.
Now, is it only because of those two in particular, or is there a reason why? Because you said when talk about those two, yes, but it's like, so what? Is it the concept that you ain't really feeling, or was it just
the concept? No, we was talking about Seth and Roman all together, but there are certain cases where, with certain people, like, it wouldn't work out that way. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, sure. All right.
Now, but with those two guys, like you said, Seth had it first.
That's true. That's my whole thing. Yeah, but
we always knew when Vince was in charge that
sure
you could look at Roman Reigns
and
they knew he was the man back in NXT or no, was it NXT then?
FCW,
or was it FCW?
Yeah, they were transitioning out.
Right.
Yeah.
So like he knew he was the man. Then because Seth he was small, he didn't have to look.
He was the indie guy.
Right, he had to put in that extra work.
Tyler Black, yeah.
Right. Awesome work. But yeah, for sure. It sucks. But
yeah, and I think that's the part that's like, because you don't want to like to what you guys are saying. It's like you don't want to make it seem like one is better than the other, but just the reality is, man,
it is what it is. Yeah,
it's got to be a number one. It's got to be a number two.
Exactly.
But then you got my bad.
No,
then you got to think about stuff like marketability.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Hogan out here doing movies, commercials, this and that, whatever.
Yeah,
Macho wasn't doing that stuff until later on.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, he's already in movies, doing late night TV shows. Seth Rollins wants nothing to do with that.
Yeah, he's a farm guy. Like he's a guy from Iowa. Like he can dress the way he wants to dress, but I think he's a bit of a recluse. But I think that I don't know if that's intentional or not. I don't know the guy. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's to add mystique to what he's doing or whatever the case may be. Sorry, Brian, for moving the mic while I'm talking.
Right, yeah, he getting upset. Yeah,
I ain't even say anything.
No, but I know because I may not hear, but I know you. So I'm trying to be considerate. You see me?
Is that a Mountain Dew?
It definitely is. It's not. I saw Mountain Dew pitch black, and I almost was dumb enough as a consumer to get it just because it was on wrestling. I said no.
Hey,
I would not be subject to capitalism. I refuse to be a slave.
Find that bad boy anywhere,
bro. I don't know where
Royal Farms.
I went to every. You know how many Royal Farms is near my house?
Yeah,
it's like 4. We're like a mile.
That is facts,
bro.
And I'm like, come on, man.
I forgot where I was at, and I was like, "Oh snap, there it is." I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care if it's wrestling or not, bro. You're not going to get me drinking Mountain Dew just because."
You, as a wrestling fan,
it made me feel like I'm obligated to do it, though.
I was going to say that. This is how it became a thing on Wednesday Worldwide. Mm-hmm. I said, as a wrestling fan, when something is sponsored, you're obligated to.
That's what it felt like too,
and that's exactly what I had. Reason why I had it back in the day. I'll never forget this. WrestleMania 15 was presented by Crispy M&Ms. It was the first year of Crispy M&Ms. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, which
I hated, by the way.
I hate M&Ms, bro.
I brought them joints to school that year because that was the closest I was gonna get to WrestleMania 15. But Halloween Havoc 98, the Snickers. It's certain ones, but when they would introduce something new, if it was something I ate, because I don't eat Cheetos and Doritos and all that crap. But it was something I ate. Oh yeah, I had to try it. So the Mountain Dew Pitch Black, I'm still mad that they didn't call on me because I wanted to ask Bray Wyatt if he tasted it.
Bro, I had no idea you had your hand raised until you told us when you got back.
Bro, well, of course, the way they were shooting, you know,
you can't really see like.
Right, but yeah, I'm sitting up there, and and then freaking Jay Bougie sends me a text. I'm sitting there, he's like, "I see you."
That's funny. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I started eating Slim Jims. Me and my brother.
Hey, I was about to say the same thing, bro.
Like years of Macho Man commercials. Then one day we was out with my grandfather.
Used to hate them joints.
My mother hated them too. Like she hated anything sodium related, beef, like all that processed stuff. She was not down with that stuff. But when I was out with Pop. Rest his soul to my guy Pop. It wasn't no rules with Pop. Whatever we wanted, that's what it was going down. Right?
No excitement.
Hey, Pop, can we get some Slim Jims? Oh yeah, with them things y'all like. We be like, shh, don't say that in front of mommy. She gonna get the tripper. What's some things y'all like to get? Them Slim Jims. Them like Slim Jims. We like
And the way the commercial was, you really thought like if you
the little snap right there. I was like, what?
Bro, when I bit in that joint, it was like rubber. I was like, wait a minute, this joint don't snap like.
It's funny because you said that earlier. You just said about Savage doing stuff later, and like even Eric Bischoff has said the Slim Jim paid for his contract.
That's the crazy part. I'm telling you, man. That's easy E, man. It takes some things. I had no idea. Like they're like, yeah, we can afford them because as long as we brought the sponsorship over, they paid for majority of his contract. I'm like, oh wow. But like I said, as we get back on track, we talk about all these wonderful things that kind of make these superstars like the Macho Mans and the Diamond Dallas Pages and the Mick Foley's, most importantly, the People's Champion. Gentlemen, this is the meat and potatoes of the show as we wrap this up. That's right. We're going to get out of here in a decent time. There we go. The bell is rung. Thank you, Brian Itch. I'm saying this now in front of you guys, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. That's why I'm going first this time. I'm going to tell you, this is what the realness is thinking. I firmly believe, look at my hands. This is how you know I'm serious. You ready? I firmly believe that literally after Elimination Chamber, after this match that Sami Zayn has with Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, he is going to be a main event superstar in WWE of the likes of Mick Foley. I know the dramatics that are going to happen. I know the false finishes. This guy was a heel. This guy turned on Kevin Owens, and just overnight, everybody forgot all these things. This guy has come through the crowd. He has delivered a passionate promo. And he had a very honest promo as a man. Men don't always express themselves in true honesty because they have to psych themselves up sometimes, even when we're in situations where we don't know if we got it all figured out. That's a natural instinct for men. And Sami Zayn was bold enough to come out on live television and say, I don't know if I have what it takes to beat him. It's because I've seen what he does. I've seen how they calculate things. I was a part of all the evil things. I don't know if I have enough to take that down. And when I heard Cody Rhodes respond to him and say, excuse me, that's what you think about yourself? Because guess what? I know it. The fans know it. It's time for you to know it. And I was sitting there getting chills watching this promo. And I said, after this match, I said, Sami Zayn is going to have the sympathy of everybody who has laid eyes on the match between him and Roman Reigns. He is going to be a made man after this match. Logan Paul was a made man after that match with Roman Reigns. And freaking, where were they in Saudi Arabia or were they in Jeddah?
Jeddah. No.
Crown Jewel, right?
You had to get
it was the
it was Crown Jewel.
Else.
It was Crown Jewel, but I don't know which city.
Okay,
Yeah.
they were at Crown Jewel, and
it was Jeddah,
and he solidified himself as like we saw him perform, and we saw the match he had with the Miz, but he solidified himself as the WWE superstar that he main evented that event that they paid all that money for him to be there to do, and he closed the show with the top guy in the company.
Second match, by the way.
Second match. Come on, like what? And you carried the show like that? Like, and we still talk about those moments from that particular show. That's what we got from him being in a match with Roman Reigns. You're talking about Sami Zayn in Montreal. That night, win, lose, or draw, I'm telling y'all, this is the moment that Sami Zayn has been waiting his entire career. He may not win a world championship ever in this lifetime, but this match right here is going to guarantee that he will always be in a main event spot in WWE going forward after this match with Roman Reigns. Brothers, talks to your boy.
First of all, he don't even need the match. He already there.
Bruh, just listen to me. He is going to pull on the heartstrings of anybody watch. I'm telling you, Brother Hugh, they get this in these promos. They shouldn't be this good at it.
Right.
I'm watching this, and I got my kids, and the kids watch. They're like, "Oh, this is actually good." They don't even watch the promos. They want to see the action. They're watching like, "Oh, nah, this is good." Like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, they familiar with Cody, and you know they know Sami from the bloodline, but they're watching like, "Oh, nah, this is actually good." Like, I watched them stop what they were doing, and be like, "Oh, wow, this is it." And I was like, "I'm telling y'all, this is from a conversation that was had. This is from the words, the level that Roman is on." The level that Sami has always been on, but didn't have the platform to be on. When those two elements collide in that ring in his hometown, he turned face just in time. He's going to bring somebody to tears. Sami Zayn is going to give everything he has in this match. Sami Zayn is going to almost beat Roman Reigns on. So I'm getting chills talking about it. I'm trying to tell you what I know, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this wrestling talk stuff for a long. I don't talk my ish a lot, bro, but I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a long time, man. I know when something is about to pop off. The level of performance that both these superstars have been putting on together on the same side, when they come together as opposites, I'm telling you, it's going to bring tears to so many fans' eyes. Is because I promise you, it's going to be so many times where Sami Zayn is going to have Roman Reigns beat in that match.
Yep.
And when Sami finally loses, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house.
Bro, that match is going to be like, I don't even know if there's words to describe it.
It's going to be so emotional, bro. It's going to be so up and down. I'm telling you, it's going to be that thing that we've been clamoring for. They're going to make you feel again. We've been watching wrestling for a long time. But that's all we've been doing, brothers. We've been watching it. We've just been watching it. They are going to make us feel this story in a way that we have not felt in a long time. Is because the emotional elements that are behind this situation. Sami Zayn pretty much openly confessing his sins. Sami Zayn having to deal with a freaking moral plea within himself. Do I do the right thing, or do I say, man, this is wrong? This man is going too far. That man had to morally make a choice, and he made that choice, and he's paying for it now. And guess what? This guy's hiding behind trucks saying, oh, guess what, Jey Uso? I acknowledge you. Roman Reigns told the Usos to stay home. You think they're going to stay home? You
Yes,
said they're gonna. You think they're gonna sit back and do nothing? Go ahead.
the Solo will be there. The Usos can't go to Canada. Well, one of them can't, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's Jimmy, right?
Yeah,
He got to stop drinking.
Yeah, yep.
I got to stop that. But I'm telling you, like, this is going to pull on the heartstrings. Something you thought Cody Rhodes and you thought Cody and Seth Rollins was emotional. That Hell in a Cell match where everybody was like, because they see the little bruise on his chest, and then he took the rest of the jacket off and they went dead silent. Everybody's like, oh. I think we're going to get that same level of emotion in this match, this main event match, Elimination Chamber. So mark my words. I'm telling you this right now. The day we're recording this, Brian, it's got the timestamps, all that stuff. I'm saying it now. I'm telling you, this is going to be, he is going to be a made man after this. Brother Hugh, talk to the people.
I mean, I can't really say nothing else, bro. You done covered everything, bro. I will say, win, lose, or draw, this storyline is made. It can be pushed all the way through SummerSlam at least, if you play your cards right.
No, that's not what people want to hear. But
I'm just saying.
Brother Hugh, are you going to cry or not? Are you going to cry when Sami Zayn
we
almost beats Roman Reigns? When he almost beats Roman Reigns, are you going to cry? Because that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, he's going to have him beat, bro.
You're going to have me almost at tears. I'm not going to cry, though.
No. So you say you're not going to cry. Brian H., are you going to cry?
Nah, not for Sami Zayn. Yeah,
okay, listen. No,
still got my boy.
Did you hear what Brother Hugh said? Right, clip this part off. I'm trying to tell you, he's saying he's not going to cry. If I get it, Brian H., if I get a text, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I shed a tear. I'm airing you out on social media, so
okay,
I'm like, Brother Hugh said he wasn't gonna cry, and if they get Brother Hugh to cry, that's how you know how good, how much of an emotional roller coaster that this match is going to be. Brian H.,
they gonna give me a ride, that's for sure. But it's I don't see myself getting choked up.
I think they're gonna pull you to tears. Brian H., what do you think about brother? You think he's bluffing or what? You think Brother Hugh? I think they're gonna get him.
Oh, bro, they're gonna get him. Oh, they're gonna get him.
I think he's gonna say. I'm waiting for the text. He's gonna be like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I kind of shed a tear a little bit.
Right.
What about you, Brian H.? You gonna cry? Brian H. is gonna cry. He gonna shed a tear, Brother Hugh. Brian H. is definitely shedding a tear.
He is.
Hey, Raj, are we in Jimmy's this weekend? I gotta know.
Like a big old baby anyway.
Because here's the thing. If they did what they did with Jey
Jimmy's.
Uso, right?
Right.
They took us on a ride with Jey Uso with no fans in the building.
I hate you, Uso. I hate you.
When they took us there.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. Let's not act like Jey Uso had this big following before that. Sami Zayn
we were very critical of Jey Uso.
In his hometown. Not to mention, I just saw a clip with Sami Zayn and John Cena. When he answered to John Cena, when he I think he tore his shoulder on the bop down to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a pop then for an open challenge, a surprise open challenge, if I'm not mistaken. When Mick Foley, I think it was Mick Foley. Man, look what they're going to do when we know he gets a title shot. And people have had longer to hate the tribal chief because we all knew every time Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, like it was a threat that he was about to turn on him.
Right.
The people went crazy in America.
Mm-hmm.
The people went crazy. You remember the first time he said, I don't want to see you wear that shirt again.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, uh-oh. And then he gave another shirt. And I remember them right there. I said, when they turn, it's going to be crazy. And then the other time when it looked like, because he does this thing where like Mick Foley used to do, had that sad look and you feel bad for him. Mm-hmm. Especially when he said, we got a KO problem. And then with the whole Cena thing, where he said, you out here calling the shots? You think you me? So when the Royal Rumble happened, like I said, I was in the press room, but I could hear the crowd go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People love Sami, whichever way he went.
Right.
Survivor Series. They went crazy when him and Jay came together.
Right.
So Yeah, they gonna make us cry Saturday. We're gonna be crying into Sunday.
I'm telling you, man. I think I'm almost betting on the fact they're gonna try to make us shed a tear.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
emotion,
you have to.
bro. Triple
You have
H,
to.
yo. I know we give a lot of credit to Triple H,
Mhm.
but my goodness, the dude had us crying on NXT with Gargano and Ciampa.
That was emotional. Yeah,
You
still,
know?
you like, oh man.
Like, mind you, we like seeing these guys come up in the indies, like, okay, you know, but the storytelling.
They take it to a different level, man. And I think that's the part. I think that's the part that keeps adults kind of tuned into it, right? Is because it almost forces you to tap into something familiar. For instance, we talk about the soap operas, we talk about the movies and the dramas and stuff, the stuff that's on TV and our streaming services. It's the same type of content, right? Like you're giving kids merchandise, you're giving them action in the ring, but they're giving us this kind of adult approach to like serious storytelling, and it's like something we can relate to. And usually when it's something you relate to, you kind of forget what you're watching. You know what I mean? Like when they always tell you when you're watching a good television show is when you forget that you're watching a television show. You just so into the story that you find yourself really hooked into
All
it.
American this week.
Yeah, I heard a lot. I didn't see it, but I've been seeing it everywhere, man. It's been
Man, that was one of them. Like I had to like go find my mother. Like, man, you watch All American yet? Yeah, I finished it. Wait, you okay? No, you didn't finish it.
no,
And
that's how you knew. Yep.
Woo!
It's emotional because it's
and it was
these-
after Raw.
Oh,
I
okay,
watched
yep,
it after
see.
Raw. So bad enough Cody and Sammy had already took me for, you know, a little ride. But then they yeah. That's good.
Y'all some
television.
busters.
Man,
No, you
see,
know what-
you hear this guy, you see him, bro, you see him, bro, see Brian, you hear brother Hugh, he talking. I swear, I want to be a fly on the wall.
I'm gonna screenshot it because the people
Bro.
need to know. They need to know that we telling the truth.
If they
So-
get brother Hugh, that's how we know they did their job. He said, "Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you, one
Stop, Roger.
just
Stop
one
breaking kayfabe.
one just came down."
What he said, bro?
Take Jake's ass for his release.
Dang.
I don't need to know that. Let me
okay,
be
wow.
emotional. but the thing is, like you said, man, they're gonna take us for a ride.
Mhm.
And,
definitely are.
brother Hugh, he's gonna cry.
I don't
Brother
know
Hugh,
about all,
he's
I don't know
gonna- I
about
got-
all that.
You-
I'm telling you,
man,
I
we
got
ain't gonna have
brother
no
Hugh.
energy.
I got him shedding a tear.
I do agree with
watch it.
them. They're gonna give us one hell of a ride
Okay.
with this bad boy. You gotta finish this storyline off the proper way.
Mm.
And that's
You know?
and that's where it is, man. And I think that's honestly the key. But let's as we wrap up, man, let's go into really quickly to a couple of scenarios. Right? Let's just have a little fun with this,
Mhm.
right? Because I think we're in a high street right now. These be the conversations that people need to hear. You feel me?
We have these all the
Oh,
time.
trust me.
And that's the crazy part. We do this all on a regular basis, like whether it's like it's a chore to set up the cameras and stuff. Because this is the conversation we gonna have regardless.
One of these days, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put this out here because the idea just came to mind. So it's gonna be a brainstorming session. Now we're gonna go back to the corner that's
Wow,
outside the
okay.
Garden of Fame at Morgan State University. We're gonna film
The
right
Garden of
there.
Fame. Nah,
Yeah,
that'll be clutch though.
Well,
It's
let's
full
say you've been
circle that
over
way.
there. You know, Top Dog and create a Garden of Fame with Bill Roden and April Ryan. They're members of it. The Wrestling Wrealm will be members of that one day too. But we're gonna film right there. We're gonna set up the camera and we're gonna let the people see how many Wrestling Wrealm unaired Wrestling Wrealm episodes that happen there between the hours of 3 and 4 when people be like, man, I just can't. I'm on my way to class and they leave like, oh, y'all still out here? Because
And that's exactly what you said. Right, unaired episodes of the Wrestling Wrealm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I gotta go back and check it out. I had no idea. I didn't realize that. You know, I was on campus not too, maybe a week or two ago, but it was only in the
Yo,
gym.
you can go to communications, bro. He not gonna bother you. I don't even think he there no more.
He's not there anymore. He did he retire?
Yeah, but now he working at the Baltimore Banner. You know, Top Dog.
Oh,
yeah.
so
Yo, they
he's-
getting everybody.
bro. The one of the ladies I work with, she was like, she was talking about the Baltimore Banner, and she was like, yeah, she was like, did you hear? I said, no, I've been out of touch. And she said some billionaire wanted to buy the Sun from the Tribune Company. And they pretty much was like, no. He was like, okay, well, cool. I'm gonna let you know. Some guy in Montgomery County. And he was like, okay, fine. Then I'm going to start my own newspaper. And that's what the Baltimore Banner, because they were covering stuff at St. Francis. And I was like, who's this?
Yeah.
who keeps giving us this coverage? And I checked it. I said, oh, this is a legit newspaper. Like they got rankings and everything.
Yeah,
And they said they pulled a freaking Fox Sports, ESPN, WCW, WWE move. They took half the staff from the Sun. Like they was paying them double and stuff like that. I was like, oh boy,
bro.
Interesting.
We it's funny we having this conversation on there. Right before I started the Ringer, I was asked if it was possible to do like some freelance, like writing articles covering wrestling, but I was like, conflict of interest. But I'll say this without saying too much. They've gotten people from notable organizations outside of the Baltimore Sun and done what they had to do to get those people. So I was told
that's when billionaires have billionaire friends.
Bingo.
We'll call it an investment. Write it off of my taxes.
I mean, you think about this. 1 minute you're looking at the news and it's like, oh yeah, our partners at the Baltimore Sun. Then it's like next thing we blink, it's like partners with the Baltimore Banner.
Yeah, you can't look at nothing on Baltimore Sun for free at all now. Like everything's just paywall everywhere.
Right? Yeah,
I was like, dang, you used to give me 3 or 4 free articles before I had to pay my 75 cents for the year.
Man, I think I paid $1 and I got like 6 months.
Dang,
they're for the
getting tight around now.
No, that's cheap. I'm saying cheap to access.
Like, it is.
We need people to read our stuff.
But see, we can say that because we were former employees there, so I have the right to speak of my former place of employment.
Yeah, they treated me good. I say
even though I was an intern, it's okay though.
Hey, look, LinkedIn says you worked.
There it is.
Right
there it is.
That's all that matters.
There it is.
You worked.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Hit the horns. But as like I said, as we wrap this up, a couple of scenarios. Okay, so let's look at a few. We're not gonna take too long with it, but let's just look at it. Let's just look at it, huh? Let's just look at it, huh? A couple scenarios. First of all, let me ask you this: does Sami Zayn have a chance at beating Roman Reigns this Saturday?
No.
Okay, that's a no from you, Brian H. What about you, brother Hugh?
No.
Okay, so that's 2 no's. I'm going to say most likely no either, and I think that's the part that's going to get. I think they know that we know he's not going to win, but they're going to make us like really pay for it, like because I think they're going to make us feel like he's supposed to win, and then he's just not, and we're going to be in tears like, bro, he almost had him. I think that's the swerves coming. That's some Ric Flair stuff, but
that's how it's supposed to be. Remember they did that with Kofi in the Elimination Chamber? Absolutely.
They did it previously before with not well. I was gonna say when Bobby Lashley kind of showed up and he kind of got his way into the Elimination Chamber. It's kind of a regular guy in ECW, WWE, ECW, and they just beats up. I don't know who the heck he beat up to take his spot in the chamber, but it's kind of how he became
I forgot
ECW champion. But it's a long time ago. But yeah, so
was that headband, Bobby?
No, it was before headband. I hated headband Bobby. Way before. This is when Bobby like first came onto the scene. This is the introduction, Bobby.
Okay.
So we all agree that we don't believe that Sami Zayn is going to beat Roman Reigns, right? We're on the same page with that. Got it.
Yeah.
Do we find does the Usos turn on Roman Reigns? Elimination Chamber. Brian H.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't see Roman going into Mania solo.
No. Who said he was solo, especially when he got solo?
That's also true.
Here's what WWE does when they piss me off with their storytelling stuff. The minute the Bloodline had issues, brother Hugh, what came out at the next day? A shirt with Roman Reigns and just him and Paul Heyman on it. Come on, bro. Stop playing games with me, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. I paid attention, bro. I paid attention.
I saw that.
Like they and here's what I'm trying to say. They have people that mentally know how TV works, because TV, as we know, is all about subtleties. And TV is always about subliminal messaging. We know that. I say that because that's what the heck we studied in school. We know how to do it flat out. Like I can verify that.
We got degrees in it.
Yeah, like you ain't gonna tell me. Like I know about sensationalism. I know about all that stuff. Like you're not gonna tell me otherwise. So that's not it. Like that was intentional. You're not gonna sit there and all of a sudden, because first of all, you don't have t-shirts just in the back the next day. Like we're gonna make a new t-shirt for Roman. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
I know how supply and demand works, brother Hugh. Come on now. One day you got a Bloodline shirt on. The next day it's just you and Heyman on the t-shirt.
Isn't it the same shirt as before? It's just without.
See, I can't tell because it's like I just know it's similar to if it's not the same shirt, it's very similar to it. Similar concept. It's just him and Heyman on it.
Yeah,
same style.
I saw that. Yep.
And it's like, yo, you doing that on purpose. Don't convince me that's a coincidence, because it's not. You're not. I'm a superior wrestling intellect guy. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. So it's like, man, you're even if that's not the case, that's what you're trying to plant in my head subliminally when I'm watching TV, because that's something my left part of my brain is going to pick up on, that my right part of the brain and my conscious mind and my subconscious mind is not going to pay attention to, right? My conscious mind with my subconscious won't, but it's going to be dropped in there somewhere where I'm like, wait a minute, he just had a whole t-shirt on, like they was together, and now he's got his own t-shirt again. Sami Zayn, same way. It says he don't have a regular Sami Zayn t-shirt on. He has a Sami Uso shirt, and it has the covered up with Zayn on it with similar tape as Kevin Owens has on his t-shirts.
Exactly.
You know, the little like, come on, man. I'm telling you, man, you're not pulling the wool over my eyes. Something's going on. So you brothers don't believe that the Usos are going to somehow try to interfere to help Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns.
I think it's too early right now. I don't think if something was going to happen. Oh my God, it'd be at WrestleMania. It would be at WrestleMania.
Okay, all right. Hold that thought, Brother Hugh, because I'm coming back to that. You ain't off the hook yet. I'm telling you, we got Brother Hugh's on the hook today. Brian H, do you feel like the Usos? You feel like he's going to do that? Do you feel the Usos are going to do something to cause Sami Zayn to beat Roman Reigns, whether they're successful or not? Do you think they're going to attempt to try to help Sami Zayn dethrone Roman?
I don't think they're going to do that, but I can see a situation where they get in trouble for getting in the way and almost costing them. But then I'm like, it's so complicated, because then you still got the Cody of it all, so you got to get there.
That's why I just said,
see.
You know what I mean?
It's like, do you have time to tell all these stories? But if anybody can do it, it's Roman, because Cody up here talking about he'll welcome a triple threat. People didn't want to see a triple threat. Now people are like, what, it wouldn't be such a bad idea. And now you want to see Cody and Sami in the ring, possibly, because of the way they're interact. It's so much.
Mm-hmm. This is what me and Brother Brandon had to go through this the other day. He gonna ask me. First of all, he calls me, and we're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, catching up on things. And then he goes, hold on, one real quick. So let's book WrestleMania real quick. I say, what you mean real quick?
Real quick.
That's the last you say to get off the phone, and you say, let's book Mania. Like, we was there for another 20 minutes, more frustrated than we was when we first started the conversation. Like, bro, this is a waste of time. We didn't get no further than we did trying to figure this out later on, going into it. But last question before we wrap up. Brother Hugh, because I told you you're not off the hook. Does a bloodline break up at WrestleMania? Hot seat.
Did he freeze? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. I thought you was in deep thought, brother.
No. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Does the bloodline break up at WrestleMania?
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I told you I won't let you off the hook there. You was gonna be on the hook today, brother.
No.
Do you care to explain why? Or are you gonna wait and see? What's your preference?
I want to wait and see, but
okay, that's fair.
Only reason I'm saying is this streak. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now, because I really don't have like anything. I was unprepared. I ain't even gonna lie.
What do you mean by the streak though? Like he don't have to lose, but I'm saying does the bloodline, like they might try to help Sami or whatever, and Roman may say, oh nah, this is over now.
But how was he winning? Remember how he was winning? How he's been winning lately.
Well, you still got Solo. You still got Paul Heyman.
He's been showing he's vulnerable.
He is vulnerable, but he was winning before the bloodline became a thing, though.
That's true, but he's vulnerable now.
He's vulnerable.
He's very vulnerable right now. It's like it's almost to the point as where like he has to rely on someone to interfere or do something.
His last major matches, he probably should have lost all them bad boys.
Exactly.
Like he should have lost them.
All of them. So
even the War Games match, because Kevin Owens had him beat. He was done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right. And I think honestly, we're probably going to get a similar showing at Elimination Chamber. So I agree with you, but now you just added another wrinkle to the equation.
I know.
Well, shoot, how does Roman keep winning? Because clearly the Usos have made it clear they're loyal to each other. Jay said, man, you my brother. I love you. I'm always be loyal to you. That's what he said. And then Paul Heyman was creeping
Hold
behind the
on.
corner.
Jay Uso said that, but not Jimmy.
Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso told him that after the match, like, bro, like, you my brother, I'm gonna always be loyal to you. And that's when Paul Heyman was creeping behind the wall. And was like, hey, so did you see, bro? He's like, yeah, I saw him. He's like, what'd he say? He's like, he ain't say nothing. Because he never said, he's like, yo, what about the bloodline? He's like, man, I'll get back to you that on later. We'll figure that out.
Right.
Because Jimmy was like, yo, like, I know we beef right now, but come on now, we brothers. And Sami Zayn pointed it out. He said, yo, you think that Jay's gonna be more loyal to his cousin, his abusive cousin, which is a fact because he's not abusive, but you know, that's their culture, you know, to their cousin versus the one he spent time in the womb with.
Right. And they explained all of that in that that A&E special.
Exactly. So it's like we're familiar with the backstory and how the family works. But Jey Uso showed up at the match and said, bro, I always got your back. That ain't nothing. He's like, yeah, but what about us? And he's like, man, I'll get back to you on that. I was like, man, this is full circle. This stuff started in a goddamn pandemic. And now just the way it started, it's just about to end. And guess what? We all know the number one factor is Jey Uso.
I was about to say, I think the key is what is Solo going to do? He's so mysterious because he don't
Solo?
say nothing.
I don't know, man. So that's what I'm saying. Like right now, he seems like the muscle, but it's like, man, you know something else is there.
Yeah, he seemed like he's sneaky though.
Yeah, I don't trust his facial expressions, man. I don't know. Like he makes facial expressions like is he cooking up something or he just waiting to follow orders? I don't know what he's doing.
I can't trust him. But the elders sent them.
But then
see, that's gonna be something else they're gonna revisit.
I ain't gonna go to the dirt. I don't want to go to the dirt sheets, but I feel like maybe Roman can bring somebody else in.
I don't think Roman can bring anybody else in. I think the WWE brings somebody else in.
Man, they got all them cousins.
Listen to me. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you guys can chime in.
In fact, happy birthday to Lance.
Oh yeah, it is Lance's birthday. Happy birthday, Lance. Lance Happy birthday, brother. Here's my scenario, and I'm gonna end on this. And you guys, by me, if you like I say that you don't got to end on this, but this is just me. WrestleMania. It's good. I'm gonna tell you how the bloodline gonna break up. It's gonna be The Rock. The Rock is gonna break up the bloodline. It's because Jey Uso is like Roman's gonna make it very clear, bro. I'm the head of the table. I'm the top guy. I'm the greatest thing that ever came out of our family. It's about me. And I feel like Jay, like, man, I hear you, Roman, but it ain't just about you. Because we got another cousin that's done more than you, whatever the case may be. And somehow maybe Rock's involvement. Rocky said, I'm not doing WrestleMania. They showed up to WrestleMania with sweatpants on, took the sweatpants off, and had a 3-minute match with freaking the Wyatt family. So don't act like it's not possible.
That's true.
Like, you feel me? He said, I'm not showing up. I'm not having no match. But he said, well, shoot, since I'm out here, he snatched off the pants. He had the boots on, and he had his gear on. I'm like, he kind of just had a match. Like him and John Cena. John Cena wasn't even cleared. He was hurt, but he found a way to make it happen. And they had it. That was a rough WrestleMania. That was the one where everybody was injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
I was about to say, you know, they would want to market something like that, but then again, according to the ticket sales, they already almost sold out anyway.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say though. So like that's icing on the cake, unless they like put Rock in the Hall of Fame and they know he's gonna be there anyway.
They gotta sell it to the advertisers at this point. They're selling Peacock ads and stuff.
Well, guess what? The Rock's going into the Hall of Fame this year. Is that enough to sell?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, so do you know he's going to be at Mania? Don't mention nothing at all. All you know is Rock's going to the Hall of Fame. And you know at some point he's going to come up there because he got to do his little Walk of Fame thing on the star. He's in Hollywood. He's doing this thing. You know, of course, if we watch Young Rock, we know about protecting the business. Of course, he's going to say he's busy. I'm busy. I don't have time to do. And I'm not saying he's going to have a full-fledged match or feud or nothing. No, I have a huge.
I think
feeling
the
like
dumbest rumor was that he wasn't in shape.
Come on now, that's not even a rumor. That was just idiocracy. Like, bro,
right?
Have you looked at the brother? He's in better shape now at 50 than he was at 30 something.
Facts, and
So
I think he
it's
can
like-
get in ring shape like that.
Yeah, but see, I don't think he needs to get in ring shape, to be honest. I think it's going to be a year-long build. I think he's going to have some type of involvement or some reason as to why Roman loses, and it's not going to hurt Roman because it's The Rock. Like, who's bigger than Roman, right?
40 is 40. The Roman numeral is XL.
I'm just saying though, so it makes sense if he says, "Yo, next year I'll see you at Mania," because he's done it before. He did it with Cena. And then after he came back had a match with Cena, he was the biggest draw in Hollywood. All of that, like he
don't
went
care, Raj.
He went away from his roots. What does that say?
The Ravens offensive coordinator. I don't care about football.
Not even gonna ask him. Not even gonna even get into it. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents, good brothers.
Man, look, here's the thing, man.
Go ahead.
So I was busy, producing because that clip was so good. It had to get out there quick. It's already on the social feed. Y'all make sure y'all follow our Instagram.
Dang, that was quick.
Y'all follow Instagram. It's called Templates, buddy. And check it out. Because the way we record and stream, y'all expect some changes too. We getting creative. We getting funky in this next season of the Wrestling Wrealm.
Funky like a monkey, if you will.
Oh man. The tears gonna be flowing.
Mm-hmm.
This pay-per-view into WrestleMania, because people gonna cry if Cody win. People gonna cry if Cody lose at WrestleMania. Me personally, I hope he lose.
God dang mind speaking that craziness.
I know he's gonna win, but I don't want the reign to end. I want Roman to reach 1,000 days.
Wow, how close is he?
He's like at 8. I think he's going to be just shy.
It's not until like November, though, right?
Nah,
no, ain't
long,
that
man.
far. No, it's not that far because he was at 800.
Still though, man, that's dang
That's
half a year though.
It's if anybody can do it. Look, Roman for me is like trending. He's about to probably be top 5.
That is crazy though. 1,000 days though, that would be nuts.
It would be, but if anybody can do it, it's him. And the thing is, because there's so many layers. Like I didn't want Sami Zayn to turn on him, but as you noted, this right here makes him a made man. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a main eventer moving forward. This is everything like Kevin Owens said, and just like their whole dynamic when he looked at him and said, I knew you could do this all along. I'm just glad the world could see it. Like that was a shoot. You don't go up and down the road bleeding with somebody and fighting forever if somebody you don't believe in. Because eventually you're going to have to eventually indie related, but kind of sort of. Me and Hugh was right there for Joey Janela, Leo Rush, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of their battles. I mean, I'm talking ladder matches, all the crazy stuff.
The foolishness.
Eventually, Leo Rush moved on. Would people have would Joey Janela have liked to see that become a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn situation? Sure. But eventually, Leo Rush moved on. So you don't do that if you don't believe in people. And that's the thing. Roman, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn believes, and you just hit it right on the head. I don't think he wins. I don't think the bloodline turns on Roman just yet. But I do think when the Roman Empire, as it used to be called, falls, it's going to be hell to pay. And that's the way I can see the bloodline breaking up. Either way, it's no way to me. I don't see Roman Reigns losing to Cody and then the next night on Raw or the next week on SmackDown, the bloodline coming out with all together and then leaving together. If they come out together, fine. But at the end of that night, it's gonna be all hell gonna break loose. That's the way I see it. Hey, we didn't even talk about Cody and all the stuff he was saying this weekend.
Bro, what?
Like, like his brother, he said his brother was his favorite wrestler, the triple, he don't mind a triple threat match, the dynamic him and Sammy had, like he said, I don't want to see you no more. And I know Sammy gotta get tired of being talked to like that, and then you look at the way Sammy been dressing, it's man, Cody on there looking at Hollywood. I mean, the brother wrestled in a suit. Yeah, I call him brother, Cody Luther King. He wrestled in a suit.
Nah, he gets an invite to the cookout.
I mean,
definitely.
I was gonna make a joke from his AEW promo, but we're gonna let that bygone be bygone.
You will.
Oh man, and the thing is, like, the whole dynamic is like, doing this for my father, doing it for my father. Is like, nah, but it's about you, and this is the WrestleMania story that I can't remember the last time going into a WrestleMania, the storytelling been this good. And I can't remember the last time that Roman Reigns losing at WrestleMania was a possibility. The way I feel like, he could really, like, in all honesty, I thought he was going to win at WrestleMania 31. Mm-hmm. I know nobody wanted him to, but I was like, oh yeah, he's going to win that match. We know because they want him to win. I thought, I figured he beat the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
We knew. I thought he was gonna beat Brock at 34. But this one right here,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because last year was against Brock.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, Roman's winning.
Sure, it was obvious.
But this year, the tribal chief is threatened.
Man, he losing his muscle. It's
that's what I meant to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not just his muscle.
Mhm.
Y'all, he's losing his mind. He's losing his confidence.
Sammy
he's
said
paranoid. That. He's never been paranoid.
He's making bad decisions.
Man, I gotta go find it. I gotta go help the bloodline.
Man, it's getting to that space is because, like you said, that he's been winning, and as a brother, you said because of the bloodline. It's like, dude, they're not going to be in your corner this week. I'm sure Kevin Owens may be around to help Sammy if he's in the space to do so. Right? I'm sure there's a lot of factors. They're like, Roman, where's your bloodline at, bro? And he gonna be like, where was y'all at? He's like, well, Roman, you told us to stay home. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a doozy. And you know what?
That's the thing. Keep it close, and then it makes him angry. Even if he just wins by the skin of his teeth, because roll over wins with a hand, man. Like Jimmy, like I don't understand. I don't think y'all understand what the real Dwayne Allen is saying, because if Jey Uso almost beat Roman, and he became main event Jey Uso. And he did not have that type of following. Imagine what Sami Zayn is going to have
in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
And he was already great.
He was already great in his own right. Great,
just underappreciated.
And exactly underappreciated. And now he gets the main stage. Go ahead.
Will he be bigger than Kevin Owens?
Right now, yeah.
Oh yeah.
After this,
I think Kevin Owens graciously kind of bowed out to like let Sami have this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're moving forward. Will WWE see him more as a main eventer than Kevin Owens? Like, will Sami Zayn get to a point where everything he touched will be a priority, right? Like Seth Rollins is at that level, right? Anything Seth Rollins is involved in, it's like, okay, it's important. Will that be the same case? Because let's not forget, last year, what was Sami Zayn doing? He was in a very important match with Johnny Knoxville. Like Johnny, I was in the hallway. Get ready to go before the show started, and Johnny Knoxville was running, walking through, getting social media content right there. Everybody, oh, Johnny Knoxville out, and he's cussing Sami Zayn, whatever. But because I didn't know
out the phone number and all that kind of stuff.
What
played it so well.
Yeah, and Sammy does like so. That night, the night after the morning after Wale Mania, I was up with Krista B, and she was interviewing him. And he was talking about, I'm mad that he put my phone number out there, but it's all good. Just the way he stayed in character.
Still selling it. Yep.
Still selling it.
Yeah.
Shucks, man.
That right there shows me how much you're most likely going to get emotional about this Saturday. You see his brother Hugh? Like I know it's going to kill us all. So brother Hugh said he's going to go stone cold. He's not budging, but I think
brother Hugh, I'm coming to your house.
I think
if we're going to Jimmy's.
One tear is going to come down.
Just one.
Just one, just like this. Just
one single drop.
Just let it be like the never mind. I almost said something.
I need them to open those back.
I almost said something that you can't say in 2023. It's considered racially and culturally insensitive, but I'm not going to refer to that commercial. Too outdated. But yeah.
You saw what happened to NBA players. And I was like, ain't even mean it, but
you didn't even mean it. But it's just this is the world we live in today. But
it's all
good, brothers. We've done it again. This is an excellent conversation, man. And man, this Saturday is gonna be a lot of fun. Elimination Chamber. Prayerfully, everything goes where it's supposed to go, and then we're gonna end up. We take one more step closer to WrestleMania season. Brian H, are you booked for WrestleMania? Spoiler alert. Spoiler. Okay, don't answer that. Put them on the hot seat. Don't worry about it.
We making plans. Wale Mania, get y'all tickets for Wale Mania. Mass Man Show be there live.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You have exclusively here. I got Brian H to say it live in front of everybody. And all 900 people that are watching this show right now. That's right. Brian H is booked for Mania. Anyway, good brothers. We did it again. These are the conversations that we need to have. We will continue this conversation. of course, off the air, also leading up into Elimination Chamber and after the fact. I'm sure Brian H will do something. Why is everybody coming into now? Like, what do you? Hey, what's
no,
up?
yeah,
Wrap it up.
Because I put the clip out there.
Oh, okay. Now you want to see some stuff.
I'm gonna take credit for that. But
no,
yeah,
you should. You do excellent
make sure
job
y'all
with
check
this.
out our YouTube shorts too. We've been clipping off. You know,
I saw that too. Right. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Look, I know that guy. It's me. It's short.
Yeah, you out there. You making hot takes about Carmelo Hayes. I was like, let's push the edge a little bit. You know,
that was a good one too, man. As long as you get people to think twice about what they were thinking already, like, oh yeah,
ain't nobody even talking about it no more because now they want to see him take the title off Braun. You're the reason. That's why they was booing Braun at NXT yesterday.
Nah, they was booing Braun because the modern day Maharaja.
Yo, talk about
yes,
it.
Sir.
He back.
The modern day
Maharaja. Oh, I said this.
Now I gotta watch NXT.
I said this in a pre-show meeting on a fan club.
Mm-hmm.
Give credit to the real Dwayne Allen and Brother Hugh.
Mm-hmm. That's us.
In this year. Because what are they doing? They're wearing suits. And Brother Hugh and the real Dwayne Allen said, put them in suits. And they put the graphic out there. And now they're wearing suits.
Yes, sir.
They look clean, man. They look clean and look they mean business. I'm like, okay, now I can take this faction a little more seriously now.
Because they're doing a good job with them. They don't need to talk. They just need to stay in there and look vicious.
Mm-hmm. And I'm telling y'all watch NXT. I'm gonna put some more NXT content out there because I know sometimes we don't get a chance to cover all of it. But yeah, because JC Jane, oh yeah, she coming. She is what I saw was the same way I felt about Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want this one, y'all want that one, but this is the one, right?
Okay.
Not so much as the like, all right, yeah, but like we all knew at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only person who called it was Dwayne. But according to the IWC, your casuals or your sports entertainment fans saw Roman Reigns. Your diehards saw Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was Seth Rollins, right? Different, but she would say she was the last woman standing. Gigi was the one who had the wrestling background. Mandy was the one who, she was the gorgeous one, the whole, So JC was always kind of like the third eye blind, but she pulled that and she came out and she made a statement yesterday like, no, I'm here. So I'm excited to see where she goes. I don't want to compare her necessarily to anybody else, but I'm saying in the scenario of the third person saying, no, I'm not going to be lost in the shuffle. That's what I mean.
That was well put.
Yeah, but Braun Breaker, he getting booed. You got Miko Satomura telling Roxanne, okay, I teamed up with you. You owe me one now.
Uh-oh.
I want the strap. Right?
Right.
Because look, I'm a Roxanne fan, but that happy to be here stuff ain't gonna last for so long.
Yeah, we know about that. We had plenty of happy to be here conversations about people.
Yeah,
like,
so
bro,
now,
like you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she going to, and I know Booker right there, so it's gonna be time for her to, because Miko ain't gonna play around with her. They don't want to catch her slipping. And we know, like at NXT, as Shinsuke, he got caught slipping one time.
Oh yeah.
I need her versus Asuka.
Oh boy.
The Japanese story.
You can't do that because you're not gonna want to watch all the other women's wrestling on the show. You're like, man, if it don't look like that,
right?
If I'm the casual audience, they like, well, if it's not gonna be like that, bro, I'm not watching it. That's what happened to me a lot of times. I was like, after watching some of those heavy hitters, those ladies, I was like, bro, if it don't look like this, I don't want to see it. Like I not because of I lost patience with it.
That is
watching greatness.
Bull Nakano and Aja Khan.
Okay, yeah, that's intense. Now we talking about in the states or in
like when I
see
it. Oof, the Rising Sun. Like I saw a clip of them too, and I
see that old stuff from then. Like I didn't know they was even wrestling like that back then. The girls, the ladies,
yeah.
God,
See,
wow,
Survivor Series '95 educated me on that, and then I would see like them in the magazines. Like, oh, this is the girl from here. So like I remember when we went to the first WrestleCon, and I saw Aja Kong. I was like, yo, that's her from Survivor Series, famous 5 tapes.
Right.
It's funny. Champ Creed was like, yo, what's your famous 5 tapes again? Because I put it on like one of the content.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, man, that like the women down there, they are killing it. You got Mellow Hayes. He staying and waiting. But I'm trying to see what they're gonna do with this Braun and Gender. because they got to have a match now.
Yeah, I think I'll get back in there. You sold me, Brian. It's good job.
Yeah.
I'll,
I'm gonna put this on record.
Go ahead.
on the record.
I am a fan of Shawn Michaels. Producer Shawn all the way.
What?
Yo, it was a spot yesterday because him and Grayson Waller, Grayson Waller kept getting in his face, and Shawn got up, and then all of a sudden, the muscle. I'm calling him Tensai, Matt Bloom. He's like, man, get out of here. And Shawn's like, man, cut the commercial. And I was like,
that was tough.
Yeah. Because
that realism.
He just trying to do his job. He got this guy who getting mad because he got, he felt like he getting screwed, he getting opportunities.
Bro,
so
you
now,
lost.
Right. So now Shawn had to put him in his place. I am a fan of producer Shawn Michaels. HB Kizzle.
Well, look at that. I hope you clip that off too, because goodness gracious, I'm not trying to give you more work to do. I'm just joking when I say it. I don't literally mean it, but that's for you to say that is different. Like, okay,
yeah, man.
Can't believe you said such a thing.
Yeah, shout out to Shawn Michaels.
Wow, and a shout out too. This is strange. I got the Shawn Michaels shirt on. I figured maybe that had a lot to do with it, but no, this is cool. But any last words, gentlemen?
Brother, who won't cry?
Take that as a new. I'm telling you.
Nah, I don't even want to say anything else because we're gonna be here for another hour or two.
Nah, it's okay. Probably so.
Look, I'm wired.
I
gotta get up.
That's because he had that Mountain Dew.
That dang on Mountain Dew.
I mean, it's the zero sugar one.
No, I'm not trying to hear that. Caffeine is caffeine. You talking about there ain't no sugar in it.
Yeah,
there's aspartame in it.
Right, all that stuff is bad for you, bro.
Hey, look, I ain't become the Jack Daddy.
The Jack Daddy.
I mean, I was still drinking and still losing weight. So,
hey, man, that's how you know your metabolism speed up.
It did,
but
it's running. I told you that time I was on the track next to Brother Hugh, and I outran him. I was surprised myself. I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm still going." Brother Hugh was like,
"Yeah, bro,
I keep going."
I ain't know you wanted to stop. I thought you wanted to stop, bro. So all right, look. I'm gonna say, "Oh, you trying to get funky?" Okay, all right. Let me
funky like a monkey.
You
like a monkey if you will.
You turn it up to like 8.
Right.
I ain't trying to die out here now.
Right. Like, okay, I'm done. Okay. But nah, man, this was an excellent show, man. I'm looking forward to Elimination Chamber this Saturday. We tackled a lot of different things, man. NXT, main roster stuff, Cody, Jinder, Mello Hayes. Most importantly, Sami Zayn. I think he is our next People's Champion, but only time will tell. So, brothers, until next time, same bat time, same bat place, same bat channel. Thank you for joining us on the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast. We out.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!